wonderful that you share your journey and how you've come to where you are and able to birth what you offer. One thing that came up in reflecting on today and just thinking about this was how I know you are so committed to your practice. You and your wife, Sarah, are just, I love this example you give about you set your year out based on when you're going to be on retreat. And I know that you just emerged yourself from a 45-day Vipassana retreat, I believe, which is beautiful in and of itself. One of the guests was asking earlier, how does somebody who doesn't have 45 days to go on a Vipassana retreat because of their life circumstances or tolerance or appetite or whatever it might be, how do we start small, or how do we use small snippets of practice? And this is really a question for both of you. How do we adapt to what we can commit to and what we can do for our own healing in whatever type of role or life circumstances we find ourselves in?
I think that's something that it's really personal, right? We have to sort of take a good look at what our capacity level is, like not just in our life and the different responsibilities that we have, but we also have to take into account our own conditioning, our own trauma, and finding sort of that sweet spot where it's something that is challenging, but at the same time not overwhelming. You don't want to bring up so many things that then you run away from the inward process. You no longer want to reflect or get to know yourself because you are horrified by what's inside of you. But you want to find that sweet spot so that you can continue taking sustainable steps inward and start doing that liberational work. And I think it's beautiful. I mean, Jack was just talking about Cloud Sangha. That sounds something that it sounds very accessible. And there's so many different entry points that are available into your own internal landscape now. And it's not just about being able to do a 45-day course or a 10-day meditation course. If you can, I highly advise that you go do it. But if you can't, totally reasonable, and you can still find different techniques and practices that can help you start developing your equanimity, start developing your sense of awareness, and developing your compassion. And that's what's important, is if you do what you can, then we're all better off, including yourself. So,
And Jack?
Yeah. Thank you, Diego. That's beautiful. And we are all better off. It's like Thich Nhat Hanh's expression where he said, when the crowded Vietnamese refugee boats met with storms or pirates, if everyone panicked, all would be lost. But if even one person on the boat remained steady and calm, it was enough. It showed the way for everyone to survive. And then you say, well, who is that person? And as Miss Piggy would say, moi. It turns out that you can be that person, you become that person. So here's a few things to add to what you said so beautifully, Diego. One is you can start small, as you said, and I'll give you an example of really small, because Mang, our dear friend who helped start Search Inside Yourself Leadership, did a teaching for people in Ukraine last week, just before I did. And there's so much trauma, and it's so hard for people to close your eyes and go into your body. It's just carrying so much. He taught micro meditations. 1 mindful breath. How is that? 3 mindful breaths. Or if you can't sit because you're carrying the grief or something difficult in your life, do walking meditation practice. There are very simple, steady and grounding things, and in a minute, I mean, the neuroscience, Richie was here, Richie Davidson, in even 60 seconds, you start to re-regulate your nervous system, and you also come to a place where you can see with greater clarity. So there's that. One is making it simple. The second is the incredible need for community. We're such an individualistic nation, and the idea that you're supposed to meditate on your own, if you can have sex on your own too, it's all right. But it's kind of better with other people for the most part, And we really need community, whether it is a meditation buddy who you set your alarm and sit with every day or 3 times a week, whether it's Cloud Sangha or some other thing where you join. we actually, and traditionally where it's taught, wherever two or more are gathered in his name, whether it's satsang or sangha or minyan, or we need to support each other. Because, and in our culture, our speedy consumer, look at your calendar culture, we need each other. And so that becomes something that you can somehow build into in a deep way to help you sustain your practice. And I forget the third thing, so just,
Back.
you know.
We'll come back.